Hello again. 27 Numsa affiliated members and Gautrain employees have been suspended. Gautrain has imposed mandatory vaccinations on all its employees. However, the employer now, through a press statement, says this information is false and misleading. Gautrain further says only 2 employees are undergoing an incapacity process in line with the company's mandatory vaccination plan. But the labour union is adamant that the suspensions are an attempt to dismiss workers. Trade union Numsa says it was never consulted on Gautrain's new policy. Let's discuss this now with the union's Paramile Hlubi-Majola. Paramile, good afternoon. First up, we just heard that statement from Gautrain saying to say that they are doing what they are doing, suspended so many employees because of these mandatory vaccinations, and that this is an attempt to dismiss workers. They say this is misleading. How would you respond to that? I don't have in front of me, let me confess, I don't have in front of me the full statement, but that's what we're picking up now. But how would you respond to them saying this is all misleading?
I would respond and say that they're not being forthright. They're not telling the full story. The fact is that we have 27 Numsa members who have been served with suspension notices because of the fact that they did not fulfill the prescripts of the company's mandatory vaccination policy. Gautrain sent out letters to employees where they basically said that they had to confirm to management that they had been vaccinated. And if they've not been vaccinated, they must apply for exemption. So our members did that. They applied for exemption. All 27 of them were declined exemption. All 27 of them have now been suspended pending a disciplinary process which will look into the possibility of them being medically boarded by virtue of the fact that they're refusing to vaccinate. To us, this is an attempt to dismiss members because these workers have all said that they refuse to get vaccinated. They have a number of reasons for why they refuse to get vaccinated. So it's a foregone conclusion that when they go through this disciplinary process, they will probably be found to have not complied and will therefore be medically boarded and will therefore no longer be able to work at Gautrain. And we are saying as Numsa that we intend to defend our members, which is why we've made an application through the CCMA to resolve this issue.
So you've approached the CCMA, and when will the matter be in front of them?
We've approached the CCMA. We are waiting for a date. We approached the CCMA by 2nd of March. We'd approached CCMA. We are waiting for them to give us a date. But what we've said is that we're concerned that by the time the CCMA gives us a date, the processes on the other side, on the Gautrain side, will have already begun. And in all likelihood, our members will fail to meet the requirements because they are refusing to vaccinate, and they will probably then be medically boarded. So we are concerned that the internal disciplinary process at Gautrain will go ahead of the CCMA process, but nevertheless, we are determined to defend their rights, and if it means that we have to go all the way to the Constitutional Court to do so, we will do so. We have done so in other cases where workers were unfairly dismissed, and it may have taken months, it may have taken years for them to be reinstated, but we fought that battle, and we're prepared to fight that battle for these members at Gautrain.
So while you are waiting for the date for the CCMA, you are saying next week there will be internal disciplinary hearing that Gautrain is bringing against the 27 employees who are members of Numsa. How are you going to be representing them? Are you going to be taking part in that? Because it's an internal disciplinary issue. I don't know if the union will be allowed.
Well, it depends on the rules, but certainly whatever guidelines that allow us to participate, we will participate because we are a recognized union at Gautrain and we have rights. So we will do absolutely everything in our power to defend our members. If necessary, we will represent them. But if that process does not bring about the desired outcome, we will go to CCMA. And if that process does not give us the desired outcome, we'll go to Labour Court. And if that doesn't, we'll go to the Constitutional Court. Because we do believe that at the end of the day, this is a constitutional matter that the Constitutional Court must resolve once and for all. This is not the first time we've had vaccinations in this country. And generally speaking, how the rule works is that you encourage people to vaccinate. You cannot impose it on them. And the Constitution protects the rights of individuals not to vaccinate. And it is Section 12 of the Constitution that our members are using to justify why they are refusing to vaccinate. They are also using the recent reports, which Pfizer itself issued this week, where they basically say that there's over 1,000 side effects. People have the right, if they are not comfortable, not to vaccinate in terms of our Constitution. So we believe that Gautrain has violated the constitutional rights of our members, and if they proceed with medically boarding our members, we will see them in court.
So you are prepared to go all the way up to the Concord?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Phakamile Hlubi-Majola, just clarifying their position, contrary to what Gautrain has been saying. Numsa, they are saying that indeed 27 of workers at Gautrain who happen to be members of Numsa have now been suspended over the issue of mandatory vaccinations on all its employees. And the union is prepared to go right up to the Constitutional Court. But first up, they want to take Gautrain to the CCMA over this.